what? I can't. I mean, that's fundamentally what I'm seeing in there. People are moving away from the cloud into other platforms. It could be neo clouds. It could be other public cloud platforms. But sovereign cloud environments, basically alternatives to the hyperscalers out there, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. Mainly because cost, and that's obviously they're pressed and they're paying 3 times as much as they thought they'd be paying in the cloud, and that's kind of something I wrote about in my book. And then the security stuff, which people have a tendency to don't think about. And you think about Europe and, it's moving to sovereign based, digital sovereignty and things like that. That's driving a lot of these repatriations and replatforming things going on, more so than you think. And I think we're going to see an acceleration of this. And also we're going to see picking platforms for our AI new stuff, the cool AI stuff we're bringing into the business, that's not necessarily going to be on the hyperscalers because of cost sensitivity and because of compliance issues. So when you evaluated costs, what specific cloud expenses like data egress, storage fees, managed services, over provisioned instances? So what stood out as the biggest contributors to your overall bill before migration? So in other words, where were you in the existing as-is state in terms of the security and the cost that you're paying? And then where did you get to with the to-be state when you moved to the new environments?
All right. So I don't really remember the exact numbers to be honest with you, but I'm gonna try to give a rough. So when we were on AWS, when the client was on AWS, their bill was probably around 40,000 per month. And in terms of resources, I'm not really sure how much of that was storage and now that like really well split it, but we had at that time an average of 2,000 scans per month, which in AI it's a lot. So we were using OCR. That's pretty heavy. I mean, you need really, really good GPUs to run this type of things. Um, if I'm not mistaken, the majority of things that the majority of that bill was basically resources. So storage and everything was summing up, of course, because at the end of the day, what the system was doing, it was storing all the images as well from the patient. So the doctors anytime will be able to go back and see the sort of logs of what AI suggested and why, right? So they will also be able to pretty much have all the history of that.
That's awesome.